edition of the Friday Night Pigskin, presented as always by Adena Corporation. My name is Brian Skronsky. We're burning the midnight oil here with you, so we appreciate everyone out there that's watching on Facebook and YouTube for bearing with us. Had a lot of scores to get in, and we're going to show you how everything shook out. The 5 conferences that we typically cover here on the OH Report. We're going to give you a score for everybody that was in the postseason in each of those 5 conferences, and a couple of nuggets as we get the show underway. So again, 16 teams getting in every single region, so there's a lot of scores to get to. Without further ado, you've waited long enough. Let's hit it, man. We're going to start with the big schools and work our way down to the smaller ones, beginning in Division 2 and 3. Here we go. So Ashland was the 14 seed. Did not go so well for the Arrows on the road tonight up in Toledo. They wrapped their season at 6-5 as the Irish are going to move on to face Avon Lake. You see a goose egg for Ontario in just their 3rd ever trip to the playoffs and the first ever meeting between the Tigers and the Warriors. TY led 31-zip at the break, getting Chioke a 2nd round berth on his birthday. They will host again next week, actually. Defiance upset Cloverleaf, so we're going to see another game at Arlen Field next Friday night. West Holmes 49-7 over Shelby, and that one was never even close, folks. It was 49-zip midway through the second before the Knights decided to take their foot off the gas. They're going to get 9-2 St. Mary Memorial in their next round matchup. River Valley, man, spanked pretty bad tonight by the Pirates, who crush it. They are going to play Van Wert next, who was a state champion just a couple of seasons ago during that 2020 year. It's Clear Fork over Upper. We've got some awesome highlights on the way from this one. You're going to see back-to-back 90-yard touchdowns. Can't wait to see how that works out with those big-time plays right there. And then Galleon finishing up their season at 6-5. The Redmen now have to face the #1 seed in Glenville, who beat Napoleon 46-8. Going to be a tough task for them. Let's flip the script, move on, show you the other scores from Week 11. Including Eastwood, who's still undefeated as they take care of Fredericktown 49-7 tonight. A big beatdown in that one. It's Tenora over Highland in that game. And for Highland, they've just scored 14 points in their last 2 weeks after having such an explosive offense. Kind of strange to see the Fighting Scots and Dane Nauman go down like they did at the end of the season. Centerburg, a big surprise as the Vikings are now headed to Portsmouth, taking out the Trojans, who had won 9 in a row. Jake Collandy had 25 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game. We're going to have some highlights on the way for you. How about the defending state champions, Cary baby, 49-6. They roll yet again, and this one was out of control early on in that contest. 49-zip at the break. They allowed Riverdale to get on the board eventually. The Cougars put up a big showing tonight, 38-0. They're able to win it. And it was not actually a blowout at the half. Hayden Kuhn turned it up in the second, as you are going to see in the pig pen in just a few moments. And then Mapleton season, they're coming to a close now. Columbia takes them out as the Mounties go down on the road. Few more scores. Northwestern taking care of Western Reserve, and they're going to be at home again next week. Seneca East bows out of the tournament. That's going to end their season. The Tigers 8-3 on the year. Margaretta at Colonel Crawford tonight, and the Eagles soar high. A big win for them. Worthington Christian as well, a big winner, 55-20 over Mount Gilead. So another KMAC squad biting the dust there. The final game for Matthew Bland, who's had an extraordinary career. And then Loudonville getting a little bit of redemption for the KMAC, 40-7 in that game. But I talked about... Oh, well, let's continue these scores here. We got Danville 41-18, and the Blue Devils, they're moving on to the second round. And they're going to be facing the Hillsdale Falcons, who are also a big winner tonight. They dropped 62. Jake Haverstock, 3 total touchdowns. Max Vesper had 2 touchdowns tonight. And Lucas winning on the road. A big win for them, 35-26 for the Cubs. And Toronto had a chance to tie it under 2 minutes ago. They scored a touchdown, needed a 2-point conversion, didn't get it. Cubs were able to tack one on late. Lima Central Catholic 41-14 over Calvert. So You see, the Senecas, their season ends tonight on the road, and St. Paul typically does a lot of damage when they're able to get in the tournament. They're doing it again. They dropped 64 points on Lisbon. David Anderson. So let's go to the first set of moving pictures that we had tonight. I told you guys that it was the first time ever that we have seen Mansfield Senior in Ontario play in football. That went down over at Arlen Field. We got the highlights to show you how it all shook out. It's Shoki Bradley's birthday, so of course the Tigers, they got to put on a show, don't they? And check this out. They're going to do it with his boy, getting him a pick six. That's Keontae to the crib, 39 yards. And this is less than a minute into the contest. T.Y. got the place rocking and rolling. Just a little bit later, we've got Isaiah Darson. He's going to take it nearly for a 50-burger. 20 zip. The Tigers are going to lead here. 3:26 still remaining in the first quarter. And it's all T.Y. Tigers from there. We're going to see a field goal, I believe, coming up here from Sean Putt. Has he been perfect this season? I don't think this dude's missed a kick all year long. He definitely wouldn't here from 28 yards out. That's a chip shot for him. And now our final highlight. It's Amar, the Star Davis, 27 yards from Reese. And the Tigers roll tonight at home. That's right. That's the birthday boy celebrating with his guys. Tigers got the juice. 38 zip. They handle Ontario no problem there. Huge win for Mansfield because, like I said, with the upset that brewed with one of the other top seeds, the Tigers are going to be playing at home again next week. So that's going to be exciting. Another game at Arlen Field, one of the best venues in all of the Buckeye State, regardless of division. It's historic, great venue, and the Tigers always play well at home. I believe they're undefeated at home lifetime when they play at the friendly confines. Let's show you the bracket now and what it looks like in Division 3, Region 10, with Mansfield Senior moving on. We'll show you what they have to face as the season rolls along for them in the postseason, heading into week number 12. I bet the Tigers wish that they could play Lexington again, or Ontario, or Norwalk. They take all those matchups all over again. 3-0 against those teams this season. But that's on the football. Lexington's still playing. They're moving on to regionals. That's what Coach Peter does. 8 of the last 9 years. If you're a fan of the soccer, you know that. He's the Bill Belichick, I think, of men's soccer here in North Central Ohio. And we got girls soccer tomorrow, just as a reminder. We'll have Lexington versus Ontario live and free at 2 p.m. Tune in. But yeah, I guess we're going to go ahead and throw it to break. And when we come back, we've got your top play winner from week number 10, as well as the Phenom winner. And then we're going to throw it over to the Pig Pen. We've got a bunch more highlights, and we'll break down some brackets for you in just a minute.
I'm Garrett G-Man Parlett, and check out my new show, The G-Man Project, exclusively on the OH Report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
Number one receiver coming from the Shelby Whippets, Isaiah Ramsey.
He's caught our attention over here, and we're certainly going to keep an eye on the Willard Flashes.
We will see you next week on the Stat Leaders, brought to you by Spitzer of Mansfield.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report. there's a little peek in over at the pig pen here on the Friday Night Pigskin. We'll get to those guys in just a minute, but as promised, we've got the Division 3 Region 10 brackets for you guys. Okay, this is what it actually looks like as we are moving now into the quarterfinals in Mansfield Senior. Gonna get a play at home again as number 5 seed because Cloverleaf knocked off tonight by Defiance. Those teams up in Northwest Ohio, they know what they're doing, man. And that's a big upset there. Holy Name, they're the top dogs. And they are going to be playing at home again next week as well. And then the winner of those 2 games, they are going to get it advance and face off against one another. So, again, we always let you guys decide, you know, what was the best play that we captured on our cameras from week number 10? And also, what was the top overall performance? Without further ado, here's your Friday Night Phenom from week number 10. And I gotta say, it's a bit of an upset pick because, well, actually the K-Mac almost always wins, and Max Payne. 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a passing touchdown as well. 37% of the vote was owned by this Blue Devil because he owned the night in a big win in the Devil Dog game, knocking off East Knox on the road. And just look at the physicality of Mr. Unlimited, who went crazy in the contest. He even punted good. Look at this one, Coffin cornering, and he spun that from basically the hash mark all the way out of bounds at the 1. But what was the best play of the week? Actually, this is the upset because we have the Centerburg Trojans out there, and no, they would not win because what's better than 1 quarterback? How about 3 quarterbacks all hooking up in one play? Galleons, Kent, to Prosser for an 18-yard touchdown. 38% of you out there thought that this was the best play that you saw all week long. Unbelievable, and it was an awesome play. It's a dime right there, an even better catch. 3 quarterbacks on the roster all combining to make some magic. Congratulations to each of those performers for making it happen in week number 10. But we're going to reel it back in here, and we're going to bring you... But we're going to bring it back to week 11 now, and let's get back to the highlights and what happened in the playoffs over in the pig pen. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, Brian and Storm. You know, we had a great game. We had at Crestview, but, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, a couple games on the docket here tonight. But first I want to start out with, you know, Crestview coming in. They're expected to win the game, and they did over Wayne Trace. We'll take a full look. We'll take a look at the highlights. What went down over at Scott Bailey Memorial Field. Let's take a look. It's going to start off Storm. Devin Holloway make a field goal. Then, of course, Hayden Kuhlman punched in with the QB sneak. It's 10-0 Cougars, and this would be a dime to his wide receiver, Caden Cunningham. Big long ball for a touchdown. Easy pitch and catch. As Crestview goes the distance, they're up 17-0 at the half. They kind of struggle a little bit on offense, but they would get going in the second half. Michael Mays, who's helped the Cougars out all year long when Addison Rammer's been banged up, he does again, shakes off a couple defenders and finds the pylon. It's 24-0 Cougars. Next Cougars touchdown would be a throwback screen here to Addison Rammer. Coon would find Addison for a big touchdown. They go up 31-0 over the Wayne Trace Raiders. A big night from Coon. He had 3 passing touchdowns. Here's his third one. He hit Tyson Ringler for a score. As Crestview goes up 38-0. They would dominate, and they'll move on in postseason play as the game was never close. Defense dominated, Coon dominated, and the Crestview offense, they're moving on.
Heck yeah, man. We had another super awesome game. The Margaretta Polar Bears taking on Colonel Crawford. I think it was Colonel Crawford's first time being on the OH Report, at least live. Maybe ever?
I think it's second. We've seen him
second?
East.
Oh, so second time this year. So kind of a baby when it comes to the OH Report, but let's see what happened in those moving pictures. Starting us off here would be a 30-yard Matt Clenard touchdown run with 8:05 left to go in the first to put Colonel Crawford up 7-0. Next up, a 3-yard Micah Thomas run would put the Eagles up 14-0 with 5:42 left to go in the first. Fast forward to the second quarter, Margaretta finally would get on the board as Judah Keller would scamper in from 12 yards out, making it 14-7, keeping it close. But then Colonel Crawford would answer with 5:56 left to go in the second. Micah Thomas, a 1-yard run, 21-7. Margaretta responds with 5:41 left in the half. A 90-yard kick return from Judah Keller. He would turn on the Jets here on this play. As we see, going across the field, beating all the Eagles down the sidelines, turning on the Jets, 99 speed. The kicker isn't going to catch him, and Judah Keller would dash into the end zone. Next up would be Matt Clenard, would put the icing on top of this one with a 4-yard touchdown run to make it 49-14, your final in favor of those Colonel Crawford Eagles, taking care of it easy.
I didn't expect them to be able to do what they've been doing. Take a look at the top half. Gary versus Colonel Crawford is what we're going to get, Storm. So, the rematch here in the N10. Gary did beat them earlier this season 7-3. Bottom half, Northwestern to take on Columbus Road. But, I think we're on a collision course for, maybe possible Crestview versus Gary, or maybe a Colonel Crawford. We'll see if they can, upset them. They played them tight in the regular season, so I guess we'll see if Gary, maybe drops one to Colonel Crawford. But, Gary Blue Devils and their fan base, they're going to get a big win. So, but
What a stacked bracket, man. That one of the best regions probably around.
It's going to be exciting to see what happens in the report. But I believe we're going to throw it back to Brian for an interview with Colonel Crawford's own head coach, Jake Bruner.
That's right. Appreciate it, G-Man in Storm. If it looks like I'm rocking out, I'm just hanging out with my guy, Jake Bruner, coming off of a big win tonight. Coach, your first as the Eagles' top guy out there. Just how satisfying was it playing on your home field and taking care of the Polar Bears in the fashion you did?
I was really excited for our seniors. Obviously it was going to be our last home game, and they got to end it the way they wanted to. Played really well tonight against a very good football team.
And you pick up where Coach Tegg left off. He's had the program in the playoffs here perennially. I imagine that also has to feel really good, not just for you, but the guys in the community all together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything we do is about RST. Ryan Scott Teglovic, he's done a great job building our program, and, he left it in great hands. And, all the things that through the last couple of years has kind of been our driving force for our kids. So.
Talk to me about the backfield tandem of Micah Thomas and Matt Clenard. It seems like they really work well, the 1-2 punch back there, and most particularly how you're able to use them, Coach. Well, why are they so dynamic together?
Well, they're all a little bit different. We use a multitude of backs. Our quarterback's a great runner as well. But, tonight, Matt Kleinert and Micah Thomas were kind of two just really hard runners. Both have great vision, both have great work ethics, and they were able with a great line pushing tonight to really do a lot of different things.
And you touched on Cam Lorne, what a great runner he is. He's not asked to do a ton in the passing game. Just how nice is it to have a guy that you can count on? He's going to be reliable, Coach, and he's not going to give the ball away. He'll make the plays when he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stats speak for himself. I think he's thrown 2 interceptions this year, and he's got like 20 touchdowns, and he's just a great facilitator. He's our leader out there. He runs the ball well. He throws the ball well. He plays defense for us, and he just leads our team in the right direction everywhere we're going. So we really appreciate all the things he does for us.
Well, the direction you guys are going to be headed next is down right 30, and that's right, you get a rematch with the Cary Blue Devils, which everybody in this area, of course, we wanted to see it. It was such a great contest in the first one, so I got to imagine the guys probably not going to get a lot of sleep tonight, chomping at the bit to get another shot at the Devils next Friday, right?
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited to go to Cary. It's a great atmosphere there. It's a great football town, and we're looking forward to another chance at them.
All right, head coach Jake Bruner getting a big playoff win tonight over Margaretta. Appreciate the time, Coach. We always let the athletes do this, so I don't see why not you. You want to give a shout-out to anybody while you're on the program?
No, I'm good. I appreciate the time, man.
All right, I'll go ahead, and I'll take one for me and the OH Report crew. So thanks for the time, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and step aside so I can jam out a little bit. That's right, it's a spooky weekend too, so stick with us. We got a whole lot more treats, maybe a few more tricks up our sleeve after this.
I'm Garrett G-Man Parlett, and check out my new show, The G-Man Project, exclusively on the OH Report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
Number 1 receiver coming from the Shelby Whippets, Isaiah Ramsey.
He's caught our attention over here, and we're certainly going to keep an eye on the Willard Flashes.
We will see you next week on the Stat Leaders, brought to you by Spencer of Mansfield.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Pigskin Playoff Week 11 edition, brought to you by Adena Corporation. I am K-Mac Trav, that's Hayden Gray, and all the other names I have given. But anyway, a couple more highlights left here on the show tonight, and we will begin in the MOAC versus Northern 10 matchup, the plugged double 90-yard touchdown highlight that we have coming up in Hayden. Well, I'm just going to let you take it away.
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected with the offenses that these two teams have that it was going to be high scoring. So let's dive in. We got a ton to look at in this one. So let's roll those moving pictures and head down to Clear Fork, where we start off with a fumble on the opening kick. Mayhem, and that's how this one would start off. So Clear Fork coughs the ball up right out of the gate. Upper Sandusky gets great field position off that, and none other than Caden Holman's going to find the end zone on a 1-yard touchdown run. 7-0, and way too early to say upset alert, but Upper goes up first on the score. Then Clear Fork, they're going to get going. You knew they would. Clear Fork, Victor Skoog finds Mays to get the offense going alive. And then a name you've heard all year long on the OH Report with Clear Fork, Luce Schlosser, is going to take it in from 3 yards out, tie this one back up at 7-7.
But we're not done, folks. We're far
not
from
even
done.
Close. Robeson is going to get through the ground game going with this breakthrough touchdown. That's going to put Clear Fork up, regain the lead back on home turf. Hopefully they're just going to keep rolling from there, and they would. Victor Skoog.
Wide open.
What a dime. Big touchdown for Clear Fork. They continue to air it out and hold on to a lead over Upper Sandusky. Now Skoog going to take the handoff turns
Ooh,
the
get
jets
off me.
on, and then looks behind one more time as if anyone's going to catch Victor Skoog. Finds the end zone. He had a phenomenal night. Upper Sandusky really kept this one alive, really fought hard. Caden Holman gives the fake, rolls out, drops a dime over to the left side. Upper Sandusky, really fought in this one. I think people expected it to be a little bit more lopsided.
They've been fighting all year, though.
Right. And because of that guy right there, Caden Holman knows how to air it out. The Northern 10's leading passer. A phenomenal season for him. Things that they've almost done, upset Cary, and kind of put Clear Fork on a bit of an alert here. As you'll see with
Is he going to outrun everybody? Wow, the speed.
Absolute wheels there from Hill. That would make it 21-28 at this point, but Powie Alt doing Powie Alt things, rushes it in.
That kid's just great. I mean, so fast.
And you're going to see more shiftiness here from him. Took it right up the middle, and you thought, how is he going to escape? Puts his foot in the ground, gets to the outside.
And then strided the last 3 yards.
And so it's 26-42. Eventually, Clear Fork finally pulled away, as you saw. And that would just be really the ultimate deciding factor. Clear Fork just really put their feet in the ground. The Stampede got through the evening. Upper Sandusky, though, would bow out. An honorable season. And Clear Fork got a lot in store for them.
Yeah, these Colts, they're a defensive team, but Upper Sandusky really put up numbers. We saw that when they played Colonel Crawford. Crawford played that 7-3 game against a really good Cary squad, and then Upper Sandusky just put it on them. Same thing with Clear Fork holding Highland to under 14 points, and then pretty much a shootout. But we saw Clear Fork earlier in the season. You saw them against River Valley. They can play in a shootout, and they can play in a defensive battle. It's pretty much a complete team they have down there in the Valley.
Yeah, they are. They've got the best of both worlds offensively. They put up a lot of points and don't turn it over. And defensively, they're just going to try and out-physical you all night long, and that's exactly what they did to get the job done. Now, another team, Trav, that can put up a lot of points in a hurry is West Holmes, and they took on Shelby tonight.
Now, if you all watch the stat leaders, which you should each week, we'll have a playoff one coming up this week too. But we say how complete West Holmes is because they have 3 players. They have a quarterback, they have a running back, and they have a wide receiver, all in the top 5 in the area because they're so balanced. They put up so many points, and their defense is so good. And, well, they did the same thing tonight. I'm sorry, Shelby fans, but look away during this one. Let's get to the highlights. As you see both teams taking the field. Was that a chicken I saw them run through?
It is Halloween weekend.
It is Halloween weekend, yeah.
Costumes.
Anyway, Shelby, though, opening drive, getting tricky with KC Lambs, throwing a perfect ball, but it's dropped. Why you? Nightmares of last playoffs right there for the Whippets. Now, after a pair of Samuel and Dixon's touchdowns, Nate Fair hauls in a 2-yard touchdown. It's 21-0. Then the next night's possession. Kyle Maltrich, one of those leaders, doing things again. 38 yards for the score. It's 28-0. But Shelby, do they have an answer on the ensuing kickoff? Miles Hall is going to take the kick, and Miles, he's going to need some hauls. Oh, man, coughs it up. Just another tough break. Get that man some Theraflu. West Holmes recovers, and the Knights cash it in. 35-0. Next Shelby possession, 4th and 2. DeVito's pass knocked down. Then 2 plays later, Proper will get the 67-yard house call maybe. Can he get past the oh, look at the chitter! And he's gone. 42-0. The Knights slay the Whippets 49-7 as the number 2 team in D4 Region 14 will move on to round number 2, and they will host another game. West Holmes, another complete performance. You saw Sam Williams-Dixon scored a couple times. Maltrich scores a couple. Just another complete effort. And Shelby, man, when you put together an upset, you got to complete the big trip plays, not fumble the ball away, and it kind of was an opposite nightmare scenario for the Whippets, who they tried, but it just literally slipped through their hands.
Yeah, I don't like to think that we all saw this one coming, but we kind of did. But let's find out what happened around the rest of the bracket in D4 Region 14, Travis. And I know this is your world, so educate us.
Thank you very much. As we look at the top of the graphic, Glenville it hurts to say that our Napoleon squad falls to Glenville 46-8. So Glenville moves on to face Bellevue, who took care of Gallion, as you saw earlier. The Tarbletters taking on Bellevue at home coming up. And then at the bottom part of the top bracket, Clear Fork's going to take on Elyria Catholic up in the Cleveland area. That game will be 7 o'clock next Friday night, the 5-4 matchup. And now let's take a look at the bottom of the bracket where there they are, those West Holmes Knights. St. Mary's Memorial is going to be making a long trip over from the Indiana border to West Holmes. They'll host them 7 o'clock on Friday. And then below there, we saw River Valley get taken out by Perkins and Van Wert handling Wauseon 40-7. So there's the matchups pretty much. Yeah, actually it was all chalk in the first round of D4 Region 14. You know what wasn't chalk, though? D5 Region 19 and the Centerburg Trojans. I'm still – you saw me come in distraught, man.
No twisting tonight.
No twisting. They did give us twists at halftime. Brian's tasted them before. They're really good. I do appreciate everybody down at Centerburg, the hospitality, but yeah, it's not going to be next week. Let's just throw the highlights,
roll the
please.
Footage.
First possession for Centerburg. They're going to give it away? Well, no, because Columbus Academy is going to give it right back on the muff punt, and you're thinking, okay, Centerburg, big chance to take a lead early, and that's exactly what they do. 3 plays later, Tyler Johnson to Trevin Harris. You just got mossed. 22 yards. It's 7-0 Trojans. Okay, they're rolling early. However, first possession for Columbus Academy, Justin Alpert on the jet sweep, and watch the speed. The wide receivers from Columbus Academy are very fast. 52 yards, and then it sets up Jake Kolodny, 11 yards, busting through the line. He did that all night. Tie game at 7. Next Columbus Academy possession. Alpert takes the jet sweep, fumbles. Is he going to run? No, actually, he's going to pick up the pass and throws it to a wide-open Rex Whitley. It's 14-7. But once again, Trojans will have an answer. That big man, Tyler Johnson, is going to throw it to Mason Tursky. He hits the 0 button, and he hits the end zone, 31 yards. We're tied at 14. But Kolodny right before the half on the counter play, wide open, 6 yards, 21-14 at the break. Third quarter now, Centerburg having the punt just at 9 minutes left, and it's going to get blocked. Things are getting worse for the Trojans here in the second half because a few plays later, they're going to see that counter once again. Kolodny is going to take it in from 10 yards out. That will make the score 26-14. Okay, maybe a chance for Centerburg to get a score on the next possession, but wait, you got to block the extra point. It's a muffed snap, but turns into 2 points. Everything going Columbus Academy's way. They win it 36-14, the 13-4 upset as Columbus Academy finishes the KMAC champion season in the opening round. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. They actually scrimmaged Columbus Academy before the season, and from what I heard, it went that way back then as well. And offensively, other than the muff snap and one drive in the first quarter, they really weren't able to do anything. A lot of fake schemes being shown, fake blitzes. They look like they'd be bringing the house, and then they drop everybody back, kind of confused the offensive line of Centerburg, and they just really couldn't get anything going, and they're out. That's it. As KMAC, sad night for the camp. But
yes,
we still
some
have
hope.
Northmore tomorrow.
Still some light.
I'm going home to cover Northmore tomorrow. We'll have highlights of the Golden Knights and the Belair Big Red at 1:30 tomorrow. We'll have that. But maybe we'll have 3 KMAC squads going in. I know we got Danville. Got Loudonville. And we maybe Northmore will pull off the upset. But sad night. No more twisting.
No more twisting, and like you said, a tough night for some of our teams here in the first round, but there's still some light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to send it back over to Brian, and I think you have a special guest up there with you now.
Well, we're going to fish it off, right?
Yeah.
Send it!
Yeah. This guy's special, all right. Poor Trav, he's going to be putting himself to bed, choking on his own tears, unfortunately, for Centerburg. But like he said, he's still got a couple other KMAC squads that are still in it, and his Golden Knights still have an opportunity. So We have no idea what games we're going to cover next week, guys. We just found out, obviously, like an hour ago who's even going to be moving on. But I can tell you this. We're going to have football here on the OH Report. We're going to have a lot going down on the Pigskin, and we invite you all to, hang out with us late night and enjoy all the highlights and information that you've come to love. So we're going to get the whole crew in here. This is all that's left. We've kind of been abandoned a little bit this week. Wow. Storm's out, I believe, taking little puke chunks out of his hair. He wasn't feeling well, as you could tell. That the pig pen, not normally as rowdy as we're accustomed to seeing.
Where's Eric Will?
Eric Will said that he ate too much in the hospitality room. G-Man can attest that's real. He'll fill up that gullet sometimes a little bit to the maximum and beyond. No Joe Ray tonight. Jory's at home with a sick kid. So these are the last of the Mohicans. There's 5 of us here, and we're glad all of you out there stuck with us through thick and thin here on the Friday Night Pigskin. We still have 2 more episodes of these. That's right. We've got enough teams moving on that we're going to keep bringing you the playoff action. But for now, for tonight, guess what, guys? We're done. Go home. Go to bed. It's late. You got trick or treat or something tomorrow, right? Make sure you hit the parade. Yeah, Travis got to drive all the way. When he says home, that means West Virginia, of course, you guys know. Got soccer tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Lexington, Ontario, for a district championship. Who's going to move on? Find out with me. I'm going to be on the call. G-Man's going to be with me. It's going to be fun. But again, I already, didn't I tuck these kids in? Go to bed already. That's enough. Put your Facebooks down. Here? For real. Man, they're turning out the lights on us. So maybe I should just quit talking. I think that will end it. If I stop, will it all stop? And then you guys can just go grab your teddy bear, get your passy,